धन्यवाद माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण।
धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
शुरू ಮಾಡೋಣ. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं चैतन्यमीश्वरम्. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा. Thank you all for joining Bhagavata study Monday to Thursday. This is the one of the best thing we can do in our human life. So thank you all that. So we'll read Canto 1, Chapter 13, Text 31. Who is going to read today?
Prabhuji, because I did not bring a book to the village, I
Okay.
did not allocate slokam, Prabhuji.
Anyone? Can anyone read? Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll read.
Yeah, please.
Ajata Satru Krita Maitro Hutagnir Viprannatvatila Go Bhumi Rukmaihi Graham Pravisto Guru Vandanya Na Kaschat Pitarasu Subalim Cha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaj Yudhishthira, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmanas. He then entered the palace to pay respect to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Purport: Maharaja Yudhishthira was the most pious king because he personally practiced daily the pious duty of the householders. The householders are required to rise early in the morning, and after bathing they should offer respect to the deities at the home by prayers, by offering fuel in the sacred fire, by giving the brahmanas in the charity land, cow, grains, gold, etc., and at last offering to the elderly member due respect and obeisances. One who is not prepared to practice injunctions prescribed in the Shastras cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. Modern householders are practiced to different modes of life, namely to rise late and then take bed tea without any sort of cleanliness and without any purificatory practices, as mentioned above. The household children are taken to practice what the parents practice, and therefore the whole generation glides towards hell. Nothing good can be expected from them unless they associate with sadhus like Dhritarashtra. The materialistic person may take lesson from a sadhu like Vidura and thus be cleansed of the effect of modern life. Maharaja Yudhishthira, however, could not find in the palace his two uncles, namely Dhritarashtra and Vidura, along with Gandhari, the daughter of King Subala. He was anxious to see them and therefore asked Sasajya, the private
Sanjay.
secretary, Sanjaya, the private secretary of Dhritarashtra. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, in the previous verses, we could see how Vidura is giving a instruction to Dhritarashtra, his elder brother. Dhritarashtra was so much attached, even after being killed, the whole sons been killed by the Pandavas. He was still living under Yudhishthira and Bhima. So that's where Vidura comes and says that you are staying like a dog because in enemy's house, because Bhima is your enemy. So he says, you leave immediately, leave your house, go to the north. So here Pada says, Yudhishthira, but see the opposite side of it. Yudhishthira never considered Dhritarashtra as an enemy, even though Dhritarashtra and team has tried all their best way to kill Pandavas. But that's why Yudhishthira is called Ajatashatru. He never had enemy. He never considered anybody as his enemy. Here we can see how Yudhishthira Maharaj daily will go and pay respect to his uncle, the Dhritarashtra, and aunt, the Gandhari. So, and he does his daily routine works like the morning sacrifices, giving charity. These are grahasthas kind of household duties. So they say rise early. Sometime people may say, what is early means? Is it 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is early? Because today's world for modern people, 10:30, 11 is morning. That's how they get up. Whereas early means at least 1.5 hours before sunrise, the Brahma Muhurta time. That's the time we should rise and do our chanting. At least maybe around 4:30 to 6. At least that's the time we would finish our 16 rounds of japa. And then our Nitya Karma, like reading Bhagavatam, performing Arati. And here talk about offering sacrifices in those days. In our today's place, we may not be able to do sacrifice. But at least if you have cow dung, we can burn some cow dung because that will help to purify the house. Then offer obeisance to and offer grains, cows, land in a charity to Brahmanas. So we may not able to give grains, or we may not give cows or land or gold in charity, but at least we should give some prasad in charity. So as ISKCON devotees, we should at least offer some prasad. Could be our poor people, our neighbors, or whoever. Something we should offer, because we should cook nicely for Krishna as a bhoga, and that prasad we should distribute. So this is the duty of a grahastha, because grahastha duty is to take care other ashramas, brahmacharya ashrama, vanaprastha, and sannyas. Because sannyasis, vanaprastha, and brahmacharis, they can't work. Their duty is to only practice Krishna consciousness and preach, whereas a grahastha's duty is to take care of them. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, as a perfect grahastha, he did all his duties. We can see this same thing, Krishna, Supreme Personality Godhead, he also is doing the same thing. In Dwaraka, as a king, he used to do daily routine, performing yajna, giving charity, and worship. All this he was doing it, because he set an example how a grahastha should be there. And here Prabhupada talks about Maharaj Yudhishthira was not most pious king because he personally practiced daily pious duties of the householder. So these are the lessons as a grahasthas. We are all grahasthas. We are all have our families. We all work. So we should take lessons from Yudhishthira Maharaj and the great personality like this. So we may not be able to imitate what Yudhishthira Maharaj did, but there are certain things we can practice. Like definitely not fire sacrifice, not we can do Sankirtan Yajna, not not Yajna as such, but we can do Sankirtan Yajna. We can chant glories of Krishna, chant Hare Krishna mantra, and we can give some charity to temple or brahmanas, or at least some prasad. That we should do. So Prabhupada says nothing can be expected from the useless associate of with the sadhus. Means so those miscreants like the Tarashtra, unless sadhu like Vidura comes and gives the right knowledge, what they can do in material world also, we are all were there in that situation before. After coming to Krishna consciousness, we could see the change in our thought process, change in our behavior, change in our day-to-day life. Everything changed. change for good. We gave up so many unwanted bad habits, unwanted things, so that our life becomes purified. It's because some sadhu in our life gave this knowledge. Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Srila Prabhupada's disciples' mercy, Srila Prabhupada's grand disciples' mercy, we got this. So Prabhupada says, like the Dhritarashtra, the materialistic person may take lessons from sadhu like Vidura. So we as much as should take lessons from sadhus. That's why sadhu sangha, lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. This was Shastra saying. So lava means a blink of eyes. Even if you get a sadhu for vision, for a blink of eyes, we should grab it. We should, take the association of, again, sometime we may say that what is association means. Association doesn't mean that go and stand next to him, take a selfie, and then publish in WhatsApp. That's not the association. Association means take instruction from him. Go and beg for instructions. My dear sir, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? That's the kind of question I should ask. Tadvidi pranipatena prashnena sevaya. Padekshanti te jnanam tattvadarshana. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Seva. Krishna, fourth chapter, he says that unless we do seva, there is no bhakti. So offer seva, wherever sadhu comes. I mean, in olden days, we could see that, right? No, any sadhu comes to the village, the householders invite them to house. They offer nice place to sit. They offer nice prasadam, and possible they want to rest. And next day they leave. Now, sadhu will not stay in one house for more than one night. They will keep walking. But the grastas will take care of them. So here Prabhupada says, Maharaj Yudhishthira, however, could not find the palace with his two uncles, Dhritarashtra and Vidura, and the auntie, the Gandhari. So naturally, Yudhishthira Maharaj got worried. What happened? Where are they? Did they get angry with me? What happened? So he started asking to his secretary Sanjaya. So that's where happened. Whereas Vishnu Chakra Thakura writes here, we can just read that. Says, Kritamartha, the having performed Sandhya rise. So generally talking about three Sandhya Vandanas, morning Sandhya Vandana at the sunrise time, afternoon at 12, and evening Sandhya 6 o'clock or what Sandhya evening time. These are three times we do our Sandhya Vandana. So these are the offering as a Brahmana, we should do it. And also we should do our daily routine of worship of the Lord. Okay, this is how a Grasta should live. Okay, so we'll do the next one. Can somebody read next sloka?
Hare Krishna. Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna. Tatra sanchayam asinam paprachot vikna manasa kavalkane kavanas tato vrutto
Gaval
hinas.
gane kvanastato. Gaval gane kvanastato.
Yeah, continue, Prabhu, continue.
Hare Krishna. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Last line you didn't
Maharaja Yudhishthira, full of anxiety, turned to Sanjaya, who was sitting there, and said, "Oh Sanjaya, there is our uncle who is old and blind."
Yeah, can read the next two
No
slokas.
translation.
No
Text
purport.
1.13.33. Amba
Amracha
Sahata
hata putratra.
Putrata Pitruvaya Kuva Kata Hu Hrut
read Prabhuji for you.
Abhimay
Amba chahata putrata. Pitrava kwa gata suhrut api mai akrata pradse hata bandhu sa varyaya. Asamanaha samalam gangayam dukkito patat.
Hare Krishna. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Vijay. Translation, where is my well-wisher and uncle Vidura and mother Gandhari, who is very afflicted due to all her sons' demise. My uncle Dhritarashtra was also very mortified due to the death of all his sons and grandsons. Undoubtedly, I am very ungrateful. Did he therefore take my offenses very seriously and along with his wife drown himself in the Ganges? Purport. The Pandavas, especially Maharaja Yudhishthira and Arjuna, participated the after effects of the Battle of Kurukshetra, and therefore Arjuna declined to execute the fighting. The fight was executed by the will of the Lord, but the effects of family agreement, as they had thought of it before, had come to the true. Maharaja Yudhishthira was always conscious of the great plight of his uncle Dhritarashtra and aunt Gandhari, and therefore he took all the possible care of them in their old age and aggrieved conditions. When therefore he could not find his uncle and aunt in the place, naturally his doubts arose, and he conjectured that they had gone down to water of Ganges. He thought himself ungrateful because when the Pandavas were fatherless, Maharaja Dhritarashtra had given them all royal facilities to live, and in return he had killed all the Dhritarashtra's sons in the battle of Kurukshetra. As a pious man, Maharaja Yudhishthira took into account all his unavoidable misdeeds, and he never thought of the misdeeds of his uncle and company. Dhritarashtra had suffered the effects of his own misdeeds by the will of the Lord, but Maharaja Yudhishthira was thinking only of his own unavoidable misdeeds. This is the nature of a good man and devotee of the Lord. A devotee never finds fault with others, but tries to find his own and thus rectify them as far as possible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, how Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeling, he is expressing his sorrow that uncle Dhritarashtra, Vidura, and aunt Gandhari, they're missing. Where are they? Are they gone to the Ganges? Are they drowned themselves? Is it because of my fault? Because I am responsible for killing their sons and the grandsons. So the Yudhishthira Maharaj is owning all responsibility on him. Whereas the Prabhupada writes here, so even the beginning, Arjuna himself, whenever wanted a war, he refused to fight the war. But Krishna instructed Arjuna, go, come on, Uttishta, fight, kill them, because otherwise they are all killed by me. Now you become Nimitta Matra. But after that, even Yudhishthira Maharaj was so upset, so sorrow that I am the cause. Even mentioned that in Mahabharata, 64 crores of people have been killed. So many people have killed. So he was feeling, I am the cause for so many ladies become widowed, so many children fatherless. So that is, the way Yudhishthira Maharaj was lamenting in the previous the verses we could have seen the previous chapters. For that, later Bhishma Dev answers. Bhishma Dev tells that Yudhishthira is not you are the cause. First says is the time, Kala, and then says will of the Lord. It is will of the Lord that kill them. And here Prabhupada says, it's not just will of the Lord, it is their karma. For example, here Dhritarashtra, because did so much atrocity against Pandavas. The Dhritarashtra and his children, somehow or other, they wanted to kill Pandavas. They tried all the ways, and they burned the houses, they poisoned them, they disrobed Draupadi in the open assemblies. They did everything they should not have done. Whereas still, Yudhishthira thinks that, yo, he is my uncle. When my father died, he is the one taken care of us. He is the one responsible for our well-being. So that's the way Yudhishthira Maharaj thinks that. So Prabhupada says that this is the mood of a devotee. Devotee never thinks others' fault. He never finds fault with others. He always thinks that I'm at fault. So this is the mood and practicing devotee should be there. The fault finding, is a very, very dangerous, because when I find a fault, when I point a finger on someone, it is the three fingers showing at me. The only one finger is pointing at others. But I should know these three fingers are pointing at me, because I'm the cause. I'm at fault. That's why Acharya says that I should be strict on me and I should be liberal on others. But generally, we are otherwise. I will try to impose rules and regulation for others, but for me, all rules and regulation are broken. This is what happens to today's rulers, right? The majority rulers, the politicians, for them, no rules. They can break anything. But whereas the poor people, the offender, they'll be punished like anything. We could see in the road, today, the small people without helmet, they'll be fined heavily. Whereas there are so many people doing so many crimes, they let go. So this is how that happens. But the real ruler, real king, he takes the responsibility of everything on me. He thinks that I'm to be punished first, not others. So that's why Prabhupada says that the fight was executed by the will of the Lord, not the intention of Arjuna or Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Krishna wanted that fight because they are the demons, the Kauravas, Duryodhana and his team. They had to be killed. The concluding word, Prabhupada says that a devotee never finds fault with the others, but tries to find his own, and thus rectify them as far as possible. So this is again a good lesson for all of us, as much as possible. Glorify others. Any given opportunity, find good qualities and glorify. That's why Acharya says there are different kinds of people. There are certain people, they point only the good qualities of others and they magnify that. They find good qualities of others and magnify that. They never bother to look at the bad qualities. That's why Acharya is saying, we have two gods. Jagannath, with eyes big, he sees only good of others. He doesn't see anything bad. And we have Sri Ranganath, he is closed eyes. So he closes eyes, he doesn't see anything bad of his devotees. So this first category people always see the good of the others and they magnify that. And next category is that people see the good and bad, they magnify both. Next category is that they see good and bad and they magnify only bad. And last category is that they see only bad and magnify the bad. So we should not be in at least the first two categories. We should go beyond that. And as much as possible, see only good in others and as much as magnify that. Glorify the devotees. Glorification of a devotee is one of the best way to develop relationship, and the whole system of devotee care works with that. That's why generally we request at least 1 or 2 devotees per day call. Find some good qualities and speak to them, glorify them. By glorifying that, our heart purifies. There's so many anarthas in our heart gets purified. So we should glorify. That's why when you go to temple also, the Acharya says that we should sit for some time. Sit for not for sake of getting, we are tired. Sit and glorify the Lord. Let's chant some mantras, glorification, and recite some slokas or hear some pastimes of the Lord. That's why we have to sit. So we have to glorify the Lord. That's why when you go to darshan of the Lord also, Acharya say that first glorify, and then your darshan should start from the lotus feet of the Lord, not directly look at the face of the Lord. Look at the lotus feet, and then slowly up to the knees, thighs, then stomach, chest, and then last after the lotus feet. Of course, now if you go to Tirupati, you may not find that place time to even look at once. They will not give in 1 second. They'll push you out. Yeah, that's how it is. But there are temples, ISKCON temples, we can sit aram se for hours together, take darshan of the Lord. So that's where we can, peacefully take darshan of the Lord. And with that darshan, then glorify by chanting the mantras and reciting some sloka. Here, Vishnu Chakravarti writes, was Dhritarashtra depressed with the thought of my offenses, thinking, why should I leave when Yudhishthira did not leave even one of my sons? So, or another meaning is that he desired as follows, let Yudhishthira also have a sin of killing me too. So, this is the thought process of Dhritarashtra. So, we know how Dhritarashtra was cunning. He was supporting his children. Even in the first sloka itself, when he asked Sanjaya, he doesn't ask how is the Pandavas. He says, my children and the Pandu children. So he separates them. So the whole thought process that even the later, when all the war is finished, he called out Bhima and he said, I want to hug you. So Krishna understood Dhritarashtra doesn't want to hug Bhima because he was so angry at the Bhima because Bhima was the one killed the Duryodhana and Dushasana, majority of the children. So Dhritarashtra wanted to hug Bhima. So immediately Krishna created a body like a Bhima, size of copper, and he pushed that copper body towards Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra was blind. He thought his Bhima. He hugged and crushed him because Dhritarashtra was so powerful. Because of the anger, he wanted to actually crush the Bhima. But Krishna cleverly pushed this, the big Bhima size of copper body, and Dhritarashtra crushed it. So now Bhima understood how anger Dhritarashtra was. But still, Yudhishthira never considered the Dhritarashtra as its enemy. He's always worshipping. Now Dhritarashtra actually lamenting, it is because of me he left. Of course, the reason for him leave is that Vidura, who gave him a nice chastisement, he gave him left and right. You the time to leave, don't stay anymore here because you become old. Your time to leave. Now, many times we can see that people doesn't want to retire any job up the age of 80, 85 also want to work. One other work they want to do. They are so busy working. Prabhupada says like a dog or ass, like a pig or like a donkey. We are working. So for what? We have to work for Krishna, make this human life successful. Durlabha manava janma. This human life is very rare. If I miss this life, I don't know next how many millions of years I'll have to wait to get this human life. So this is the best time, just golden era. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just arrived 540 years. And Prabhupada came here and gave us all the knowledge. This time, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this holy name. Just chant and read Bhagavatam, make this human life successful, go back home, back to Godhead, and never come back here. Because once who goes Goloka, never comes here. So that should be our human life, goal of the human life. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Devotees can share their comments, thoughts. Let's start with the Asha Mataji. Asha Mataji, are you there? Or? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nothing, Prabhuji. I just understood how I should not find fault with others. I should be strict on me and I should try to find my own faults and then rectify and work on rectifying them. And then the rest of the text I understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
A rice. Give me one.
Archana Mataji, anything?
No, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mariappan Prabhu,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I understand how I should not lead my life like Dhritarashtra, and how I should not develop the attitude of Dhritarashtra, and how I should develop my attitude and behavior and all my life leading, take the model of Yudhishthira, and I should not find fault with others, but whereas I must take responsibility of even a small fault, I must rectify on my side. I should not, as far as possible, I must see all good qualities in others and learn to glorify the good qualities in others. That much I have understood, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Lakshmi Mataji, anything?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. We must practice the daily duties as given in this purport, Prabhuji. The householders must follow all these things. Daily morning, early morning, rising early morning is very important. And then we must take lessons from sadhus and follow that correctly, Prabhuji. And then as Prabhuji said, we must always glorify the good qualities of others. And we should not find, a devotee never find faults with others. It is given, it is very correct. And we should rectify ourselves. If we have any anything, if we have on our own, we should rectify it, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Sridevi Mataji, anything on that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yudhishthira Maharaj, during his ruling, he has given gold, land, food grains, all big things as charity to the Brahmanas and all. So as the Grihasthas, we may not do like him, because those days it was different. But nowadays we may not do like him, but we can make prasad and give to Brahmanas, sannyasis, bachelors and other devotees. That way we can serve the devotees. And we have to take care of sadhu, associate with devotees and try to serve them. Association with devotees, as you said, just not associate and do prajalpa, but we have to learn good from them, then serve them. We have to learn how to serve them. All that we have to do. Association is. Then again, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was feeling so bad for killing all the men in the war. He feels that he is responsible for the killing. So what we have to learn is, we should learn from Yudhishthira Maharaj that any fault should not blame on others, but we have to put to ourselves. That's what I learned, just few points from the class.
Uma Shankar Prabhu, anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Nitya Karma should be followed, Prabhuji. So,
Yeah.
every day chanting should be done properly, associating with devotees, reading at least one page of Bhagavad Gita. So, and also devotional service towards Lord should be done. So, these basic things, if we follow, then we can have the improvement, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Varsha Mataji, last concluding words.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for the class. So today's takeaway is like I understood what are the duties of Grahastha, and the most important thing is my mood should always not be like fault finding. Instead, it should be what do you say, Prabhuji? It should be generous towards others and strict on ourselves. That is a very nice takeaway, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, 9 o'clock. Possible request others also join. Please publicize as much as possible. Pancha Kalpatari Vishnu, Kripa Sindhu Bhishna, Patitana Pavanabhu, Vaishnava Namanam, Ananta Koti Vaishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Shadeshwar Prabhuji class ki
See you
jai.
tomorrow.
Hare
For
Krishna.
tomorrow,
Thank you very much
somebody
for the
to
class.
take up
Pranams, Prabhuji.
so
Tomorrow?
Sloka
Hare
allocation, please.
Krishna Prabhuji.
For tomorrow, somebody take up a sloka allocation devotees, please.
Anyone?
Because I don't have book.
Krishna Mataji, can you help?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Lakshmi Mataji.
You can do?
Please allocate slokas for tomorrow.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Mataji. Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.